Come back. Well, Ron Paul is going to be joining us next. So that's all coming up straight ahead. But first, let's hear what he had to say earlier in the debate.
Well, I think the party has lost its way because the conservative wing of the Republican Party always advocated a non-interventionist foreign policy. Senator Robert Taft didn't want to be in NATO. George Bush won the election in the year 2000 campaigning on a humble foreign policy, no nation building, no policing of the world. Republicans were elected to end the Korean War. The Republicans were elected to end the Vietnam War. There's a strong tradition of being anti-war in the Republican Party. It is the constitutional position. It is the advice of the founders to follow a non-interventionist foreign policy. Stay out of entangling alliances. Be friends with countries. Negotiate and talk with them and trade with them.
Joining us now, Texas Congressman and presidential candidate Ron Paul. That was quite a moment between you and Rudy Giuliani. I wonder if that had gone on a little longer, just what might have happened in that little mini debate within the debate that happened tonight.
Maybe he'll debate me on foreign policy. I'd be delighted to debate him on foreign policy where we each got to explain our position.
The question that kept coming up for you was that you are not saying the same things the other Republican candidates are saying. You seem to be not in sync with what the party itself was saying. Why run as a Republican? And if you don't get the nomination, would you run as an independent?
Well, the majority of the American people don't like the war. And I want to be president of the country, not president of the Republican Party.
You got to get the nomination first.
Yeah, but the party itself has to have a position that's attractive to the entire country. We lost last year's election on the war issue. Most people believe that to
But
be
if
the case.
you didn't get the nomination, would you run as an independent?
No. No,
you would not?
No, I'm not planning on that. No, I don't intend to do that.
You call yourself, you ran as Libertarian Party candidate in 1988. Yet you call yourself pro-life. Where in the Constitution does it say, for example, that you can make laws restricting a woman's right to choose? If you want to be a constitutionalist, shouldn't the government stay totally out of the abortion?
Well, I think the federal government should.
What about the state government?
What?
What about states?
It's up to the state government, because the state governments, we don't dictate to the states. And protection of life is one of the important issues of government. If you can't protect life, how can you protect liberty?
But most libertarians, and I know you lean libertarian, would say the government, women should have a right to choose. The government, even state government, should stay out of it. You should not restrict a person's right to make that choice. That's what most libertarians would say.
No, but all libertarians believe that you should never use a force to bring about changes, and they reject an act of aggression. A fetus is alive, it's human, and has legal rights. If you kill it,
Ron,
you have committed an act of aggression.
I want to go back to this exchange you had with Mayor Giuliani here for just a second. Are you suggesting the United States of America caused the attack on 9/11?
No, I think that's a cop-out. When people imply that, what you're saying is that if you don't endorse my foreign policy, you're un-American, you're unpatriotic.
I never said anything like that. I don't say it. You're suggesting.
No, but I think that was the point in the debate, that if I didn't endorse this foreign policy, you turn it around, or he turned it around.
I'm not saying that, but what specifically then are you saying? Are you suggesting that our policies are causing the hatred of people that would cause them to want to kill us?
I think it contributes significantly to it, and this is exactly what our CIA tells us. And anybody who's done any research on this has found out.
What have we done to cause the attack? What did America do to cause the attack on 9/11?
Okay, the Americans didn't do anything to cause it, but policies over many years caused and elicited hatred toward us if somebody was willing to commit suicide. For instance, the occupation with our military troops on their holy land in Saudi Arabia, bombing a Muslim country for 10 years, putting on sanctions that killed hundreds of thousands of people. So that caused it anger.
Are you saying then that if the world has no moral obligation on the first Gulf War, when an innocent country is being pillaged and people are being raped and murdered and slaughtered, or in the case of Saddam, he's gassing his own people, are you suggesting we have no moral obligation? No, you stand by and let that immorality happen?
We have on numerous occasions.
You support that?
We have on numerous occasions. If we feel strongly about it, why don't we declare?
If a woman is being raped next door, we just do nothing there either?
We're just out of time, but the fact is the Reagan administration stood by while the Kurds were being gassed. It happened in 1988. We didn't do anything about it for how many years?
What did we do with Moscow? What did we do with China? We stood by, and they did it to their people.
We got to run.
You would stand by and do that. I would not.
No,
I think that's immoral.
Well, would you have the courtesy to ask the Congress to declare war? Would you follow the Constitution?
We did declare war. The authorization, use
that is
force
not a declaration of war.
We got to run.
place in the Constitution that says specifically.
We got to run, guys. We're gassed, and we stood by for years until
We gave them the gas. We gave them the gas.
Thank you very much for being with us.
What happened on
More on the other. They're going to keep debating. More on the other side of the debate. Keep texting us your vote to 36988. More to come on this special edition of Hannity and Colmes.